welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa Morell and today we have Body Shape Masterclass 21 for you. So we are just waiting for Kat, our lovely volunteer, to arrive. She's coming from work just to fit us in today. And Kat is going to help me to show you how to balance out a larger bust. I think she's about 5'7", 5'8", a UK size 18, and she's got a very large chest. So we're going to focus on how we balance that chest off, and it's not about hiding the chest, but it's about making the most of her entire figure by putting it back into that hourglass shape. However, we've got a little bit of spare time right now, and I have just had the most gorgeous collection of clothes come into the studio. So I thought, well, if I don't show you those now, by the time I do show you them in a couple of weeks' time, they may have sold out. And when I get something in that I'm really excited about, I just want to push it out there straight away. Starting off with what I am wearing at the moment. So the clothes that have arrived are from Hobbs. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I think I've probably forgotten a little bit about Hobbs, because Hobbs for me was more of my corporate life and perhaps when I'm dressing more of my business lady clients. However, their more sophisticated casual range is just gorgeous, and they've got this special edition range out at the moment which I really like. So I've picked 4 or 5 pieces from it and it hasn't disappointed. So right now I have got on the jumper dress. Love a jumper dress. This one is gorgeous. It's just got the little splits up the side there. I'm finding it's kind of hanging from my bust, which means that you can hide whatever is going on, tummy area, bloated stomach, whatever, and it's really flattering. Often though with a jumper dress, they make them too heavy and you don't get the drape, where this one, like I say, it's draping from my bust area, but it's not clinging on my hips, and I'm actually quite hippie around here. And the drape is because it's a combination of wool, polyamide, I think I saw, probably a bit of nylon and 5% cashmere as well. Wool again usually itches me. This is not itchy at all. It feels gorgeous. The rib detailing on it is lovely. And I think actually what I like about it is its simplicity. It just isn't trying to do lots of other things, and it's just hanging really nicely. So right now I've got it on with some black boots, as you can see. So nothing kind of wild with the styling there, very easy to wear. You could put on a leather coat with this, you could put on a blazer, would also look very nice, but you could also change the boots up. Hobbs had some really nice white boots that I saw on their website. I'll put a picture up here. So I think white would look really nice as well, just whilst we're still in that transition period. Also put trainers on with it. I think my black Sambas would look nice with that. I'll put a photo of that at the side of me. So next in the collection is this beautiful denim shirt. Now I show denim shirts a lot, and that's because as soon as we put them onto the board for you to buy, they sell out straight away. So I'm always looking for this perfect denim shirt. And I think this one, particularly for the ladies who are watching this video about minimizing a bust area, is fantastic. Why is that? First of all, you always need to focus on the shoulder. So that beautiful detail there on the shoulder actually helps you to broaden your shoulders out. Obviously you can open the collar out like that. That is then going to reduce the bust area again. There's no pockets or no details or no embellishments over the bust area. So again, that's going to work. And this one is just slightly fitted. That's a UK size 10 on me, and I'm in between an 8 and a 10. And I would say it's just the right fittedness. You don't want it too overly baggy when you've got a big bust, because it's just going to make you look very block-like all the way through the middle, which is exactly what I'm hoping to show you when Kat does arrive. So I've just gone double denim today. So I have put some boots on. A lot of you are asking me about how to wear your cropped jeans now that it's winter and how to stop your ankles from getting cold. It's a very simple answer, and that is just to wear some boots to fill that gap in. And I've just paired it with a bag there as well, and that just helps to tie the outfit together. Obviously double denim isn't everybody's bag, but I think try putting a belt on to split it up, and then maybe try adding a camel coat, and then the double denim isn't so double denim. You've got other things going on as well, if you know what I mean. And there you go, as simple as that. Obviously I've just thrown it over my shoulders for speed at the moment, but you can see now, even with a relatively dark coat, it's still bringing the rest of the outfit in. So the belt is linked in with the coat, which is linked in with the shoes. This coat, by the way, take a look at that. So the print on it is beautiful. A lot of you I know like your dark black winter coats, and I'm always trying to encourage you to go a little bit lighter. Just because the weather's bad, it doesn't mean that you have to stick with the dark colours. But this pattern and the combination of the darker and the lighter brown there is maybe a really easy transition for a lot of you who are just used to wearing a darker coat. But it is beautiful. Great on the shoulders. The seam is actually on the shoulders rather than it being a drop shoulder, which means it's going to frame the shoulders, which is what we're trying to get to when we recreate this hourglass shape, particularly again for large chested ladies. You want your shoulders to be wider than your bust is. So next I'm wearing something that, if you're watching this video just for the larger boob section and how to dress a larger bust, then this is what you wouldn't wear on top, because what's going to happen here is that your bust is going to look larger because it starts from up here rather than when you've got a cowl neck on, for example, like that, and that's going to halve the bust area. But Catherine still isn't here, so I'm just going to carry on and show you these items because they are gorgeous, but also because in the case of this set, it's actually two pieces. So it might be that if you have got the larger bust, you don't go for the jumper, but you do go for the skirt. I love it as a matching set, but equally I would put this maybe just with a little camisole top on and maybe a really nice coat over the top, or a leather or something on those lines. But if you are smaller chested like myself, then there's no reason why you can't wear it as a set like this. The drape on it is beautiful. I'm wearing a UK 10 in both. I wouldn't want to go any bigger on the jumper, I'd say, because of the thick rib there. You might find that that has a little stretch in it over time. And there it is with the coat on. I just think that combination looks so lovely. But have a look at what I am doing on each of the sleeves here. So ordinarily I would higher up my sleeves so that my wrists are showing like that. Especially if you're petite in size, I'm 5'3½". A dark coat can sometimes look a little bit overwhelming if that wrist area isn't showing. However, the weather is changing, so you don't want your wrist to get cold. So an alternative is that you pull the sleeve of the jumper down like that. So instead of that, you've got that instead. And it almost mimics what you're doing, but you are staying warmer with this option. And that's because the jumper is going to lie flatter than the coat is. So it makes this part of the arm look smaller. So it gives you the same effect, if you can see what I mean there. Now moving on to the bottom of the coat, right now it's at two different levels, which this comes down to a bit of a personal choice. A lot of people don't like it when the skirt or the dress hangs lower than the coat, so I get it. But it's a very simple solution. Just higher your skirt up. So that's all I would do. So I would turn it over a little bit more like that. And now the bottom of the coat is more aligned to the skirt. And most skirts you can do that on, especially if you've got a jumper which is overhanging. So Kat has just arrived. Welcome. Thank you for squeezing us in again. She literally comes from her school, runs here to do this modelling for us. So Body Shape Masterclass 21 is what we're on today. And the theme for today is looking at how we dress your lovely boobs. Because they're a little bit top heavy. Yeah, but for Catherine, they are actually the perfect feature on her lovely curvy frame. If Catherine wasn't so top heavy, then you would probably find that she would look more rectangular and less all in proportion. What we often find, if a lady has got a large chest, she's got a very flat bottom and she's very narrow through the hips with really slim legs. So then automatically that lady looks really top heavy, where your curves here are balanced out by your beautiful hips there. So from a styling point of view, it makes it a lot easier, to be honest, to dress her. We are going to both get dressed in certain outfits today. So where I can find an outfit here in the studio that kind of twins with you, I thought it might be quite good if I show a slightly different look, but on my frame as opposed to your frame.
Yeah,
so
just to get a comparison.
Yeah, and Catherine is tight on time today, so I'm going to stop talking and we're going to go through this really quickly for you. Okay, so kind of twinning we have got on. So if I run through my outfit really quickly, I've got some cropped jeans on from Mango. But interestingly, when I put the shoes, the flat shoes on like that, it meant that I looked much shorter, and I've got the volume of my jeans here, the volume of the coat, and I'd made myself look shorter. So that's not going to look as good. So I had to put a heel boot on to elongate my frame, where Kat here had no issues with the flat shoes. She looks absolutely gorgeous. Now, the good thing about this on Catherine is where the shoulders sit. So the seam of the shoulder is sitting on Catherine's shoulder. So what you don't want when you've got a big bust is to have the seam hanging down here. And the reason for that is because it's going to make you look very rounded here. And especially if you've got larger arms, it will also make your arms look rounded. Where the fact that this sticks out here will actually make the bust area look smaller. Because what you're looking to do to minimise a bust area, or just to rebalance it, we're not really trying to get rid of it because it's lovely and it's part of your shape, but we're just trying to make it more in proportion to the rest of the body. So in order to do that, you need to recreate the hourglass shape. So that means you've got to find yourself two tips on the top of your shoulders. That's got to be your widest point, and then you've got to make sure that that tip is then equal with the tip down here. So just like that hourglass shape. When you do that, everything here is going to look smaller. And that's the principle of how to balance any figure, whatever your shape. Just be mindful though. So for example, if you're already large on the shoulders, you probably don't need to create the tip because you've already got the widest part. But you might need to widen your hips to match your already wide part. Catherine has got a lovely V-neck. You said this jumper is really soft and comfy,
lovely,
isn't it?
it's beautiful. And I do like the ribbed effect.
Really
I do like
nice.
a ribbed top. It makes me, it feels like it's elongating me as well up here and just bringing everything in a bit more.
Well, I think it probably will because it's the vertical lines, so it really helps. And then just putting the coat over like that is just adding a further vertical line down there. So again, just helping to split it up. So if Kat was wearing a higher necked top here, her bust is going to look a lot bigger. I'm going to try and manipulate this and show you. So sorry Kat, we're pushing and pulling you all about like that. Okay, so now her bust is almost starting from this point going all the way down. It not only makes your bust look bigger, but it actually makes your bust look saggier as well. Where what this does, as Catherine I will say has not got a saggy bust, you always wear a beautiful bra, that now has just halved her bust area. And I see too many people constantly wearing t-shirts like this when they've got a big bust. And it doesn't do them any favours, trust me. So I have got a relatively small bust, and so I can get away with that round neck. In fact, that round neck is an advantage to me because it will make my bust look bigger. So V-necks or low slash necks, or you like a slash neck?
I quite like a slash neck, or I love cowl necks. I absolutely adore cowl necks.
Yeah, that would look really nice on you. And that's because it's a soft feminine line that comes here, that it is really nice. So yeah, that looks lovely. Jeans are from Mint Velvet, if we just head back. So these are lovely. If any of you have watched Body Shape Masterclass 20, it had 6 women, all different shapes and sizes, and these are the jeans that we used in that video as well. They're from Mint Velvet. We'll link them for you. They come in, I think it's 3 different lengths. It's definitely petite and regular. I think they do tall as well.
Yeah.
They fall really nicely. They don't stretch too much. They're quite comfortable, and it's the one jean that we found suits a lot of people. Okay, so next up, all I've done is put some navy Varley leggings on. Super comfy, really nice and high on the waist, and the sort of light grey in my top and the light grey white in my trainers is what's helping to bring that outfit together. But for Catherine, we've gone for these navy tapered jogger, elevated jogger.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah, they've got a slight, kind of almost like a slight cargo jogger kind of feel about them, the way they come at the bottom.
But they're elevated with this little really nice stripe at the side.
Yeah.
And then we're bringing in the green. So Catherine is lucky in that she can do the khaki green and this bright green, but a lot of people either can do one or the other. And it's just a matter of you literally getting that green, putting it against your neck and seeing if you like it. If you do like it but it doesn't suit you, then simple answer, just put it down below instead, just away from your neckline. It shouldn't ever stop you from wearing a colour because it doesn't suit you on your neck. You just put it elsewhere on your body. We have created this white band here underneath the green top. Now, believe it or not, but this white band is actually helping to make the bust area look more in proportion. Okay, so why is that the case? First of all, if we were just to pull this down and it be more block-like, then again her bust here is almost going to sort of occupy the whole area, so the bust merges into the stomach more. So whilst we are sorting out this problem here by halving the top part of the bust by wearing the V-neck and also the collar as well, because the collar is making it look broader on the shoulders. So that is a tick, that's a tick. But if that was just hanging down like that, we've now made the bust and the stomach merge into one. By hiring this up just slightly and creating that nice white fresh band there, that almost creates the illusion that that is the smallest part of your waist here, and then it starts to kick out at the side. I hope that's making sense. Basically, it helps elongate the waistline and it helps shorten the look of the bust area, but it still creates a differentiation between the stomach and the bust. Okay, so we just thought we would show you a top that doesn't work with these trousers compared to the green top that we just had on there. So colour-wise, great, it brings in the white trainers, but the high neck here, will you explain how you feel when you wear that?
It feels like my bust is starting kind of up here somewhere, and all of this is just going outwards. I just feel very heavy up here. So I just feel a lot more narrower in this part when I have a V or another neckline that isn't so high here.
Yeah. It also, I think personally, it highlights your smaller width on your shoulders.
Yes.
And a lot of ladies who are big busted think they are broad everywhere on top, but actually they're not. No. So if that was pulled out like that, that would actually help because it would make the waist look smaller. But what we're going to do now is add on a jacket that again is going to exaggerate the feeling of heavier and bulkier on top. So There we go. This is what I see a lot of. And now Catherine has lost all of her shape from underneath her bust area. She's made herself look wider. Even though we've got it splitting the bust area there, we haven't got the benefit of then the skin showing down here. So this is a heavier fabric, it's bulkier, the seam is coming off the shoulders. So all in all, it's just not as flattering as perhaps the brown coat at the start, for example. So let's just try putting on the other jacket just to see if it drapes nicely. There we go. So I think that coat, because of the drape in it, it's not so heavy, the shoulders sitting where they should sit. Now she can afford perhaps to wear the higher neck, especially if you're out in the cold and things like that. And it's because the whole drape of the jacket, it is elongating her entire frame. It's not just sitting wide, just in your widest area. Yeah, so that's how you still wear a higher neck, you layer over it. Okay, so we've both got jumpsuits on, as you can see, very different. I'm wearing the Varley one. It's in the chocolate brown. Chocolate brown is very much the colour of the season. And I've also got this in cream. But the reason I've got it on today is because our project director, Nikki, who I think has got an even bigger chest than yourself, she wore this on our weekend away in the Cotswolds recently. And I wouldn't have said that it would have suited her because of this high neckline. There we go, I'll just get a little bit closer so you can see that. So on myself, being smaller busted, that's good because it's going to make my bust look a little bit larger. So what we did on her was we opened this up just a little bit. I think I might have shown this in a behind the scenes as well. And then we just opened the neckline like that. And it suddenly went from a jumpsuit that made her bust line look really big to one actually that then really flattered her. And it flattered her because look at the waistline here. It really brings you in here. The high pleats are making you go out from the stomach area. And now I'm not very good on pleats because I've got a bigger thigh area, but the pleats are coming from the sort of by my belly button rather than on my hips. So it creates a really nice silhouette, and I've now used it on several clients, and I'd say it is a winner on most people. I haven't had anybody that it doesn't work on. Comes in cream, brown and black, but they also do a different neckline. So they do a zip that comes all the way from here and it totally opens up. So that would equally be as good on a big bust lady. This one I love. I think she looks absolutely gorgeous in it. Why is it working? So it's working because we have got this beautiful shoulder detail on. So she hasn't got any shoulder pad in there at all. And she doesn't really need it. You could put it in if you wanted to, but she doesn't need it because you've got these little tucks in the shoulder there. So that's making the arm area look like it's the tip of the hourglass shape. It's bringing her in here at the waist, so you're creating that lovely line. And then because you've got a wide leg trouser here, it's kicking out over the hip area. The neckline here, just that little collar, is broadening her, so that's making this bust area look smaller. Tied it in under the waist. And then a good thing about these as well is you don't always have to put the waistband through the holes at the side. Often I don't do it when the lady's got a larger bust and if they're lacking a little bit of waist definition. So what you want to make sure is you can get pretty much your sort of 3 or 4 fingers under the bust line there, and then it's the waistband. What that will do is will stop the bust and the waist merging into each other. You could also tie that a lot tighter if you wanted to.
I did it fairly loose.
Yeah, it's quite loose there, isn't it? And the other thing is wearing that waistband flat. So taking some time to, you know, it can kind of go like that, can't it? Sort of get all tied up, but just taking a moment to flatten that out And even to iron that belt, there's so many people that don't iron the belt.
Well, then it gets so narrow
Yeah.
and it's such a thin piece to pull you in, it doesn't really help.
Exactly. So that looks lovely. I think that one needs to come
Feels
home with
beautiful.
you. Really nice. Oh,
Really
and actually,
lovely.
we use this on Jess. Jess is one of our new models. She is a size 18 pair on the bottom, but then she's only like a 14, 16 on top. So she's quite an extreme pair, and she suited this exactly the same. Really beautiful. Okay, so now wearing something completely different between the two of them, but I'm actually wearing a jumper that I bought for Kat to wear in this session. But both of us have got to go and get children today, so we're a little bit of pushed in time. So I'll just show it you. It is beautiful. It is an investment jumper or cardigan. In fact, I think the point of this is that it can be the jumper or the sweater, the cardigan or the coatigan, because you could just open that, and you just said you'd wear it like with a little top under.
Yeah, a little vest top.
Yeah, that would be really nice. But I wanted to show it you because this is a size 18 in it. And I've actually ordered it for myself in a UK 16. Now bearing in mind that I'm only a UK 8 or 10. And the reason for that is I want it to hang like that. Can you see how it's draping lovely? If I combine this jumper with a bootcut jean, which the bootcut jeans are very much in fashion now, but when we're middle-aged, and we've already seen the bootcut jean come round again, it can make us look a little bit mumsy if you don't pair it with the right thing. So if, for example, I had this cardigan on and it was just really tight like that, not sure whether that's working or not, but when it's really tight like that, that's when it starts to look a little bit mumsy. So if you're going for a boot cut or a more traditional style of jean that isn't necessarily the height of fashion, try and go a little bit baggier, a little bit looser on top. Right. Kat, what have you got on? Because you look great for the
I'm ready for rain, puddles, the lots.
So nobody can say that we're not practical in our styling. Okay, so what we've got on here is some beautiful green jogger cargos.
They are lovely. Beautiful colour.
Yeah, really, really nice. I know the dark items are often really hard for you to see, so I will try and explain here and I'll try and zoom in with the camera. But they have the pockets on here at the side, and I've been talking a lot about these pockets over probably my last 3 or 4 videos, to be honest with you, because they do a great job of balancing out hips. A lot of people would think I can't wear the cargo pockets because it's going to add bulk, but they're rarely around this area.
Yeah.
But it's in a very practical, really comfy, like a thick jogger, but it drapes really well. And then this is where we can afford to put this tighter top on Kat, because we've added a little bit of volume down here. What we don't want to do is add the volume and then the volume at the top as well, because basically it would make her bust look like it starts here and ends down there. And that only happens when she takes the bra off. I'm only joking. Do you know what the worst thing is?
Yeah.
That actually happens to me.
Good.
Even with
really happy it does.
Even with small boobs it happens. Anyway, back on track. Now, a lot of people think a horizontal stripe top like this is going to add volume. It doesn't add volume as long as you are looking at the shape of the top. So in Catherine's case, we need the V-neck, we need a little bit of shoulder detail, we need it coming tight over her bust. If you were to put just a much bigger, baggier stripe on with a drop shoulder seam, a high neck, then of course it's going to make you look broader. Yeah. But it's not the stripe that's making you do that. When all the theory and almost the science around that came out in the styling world, it was always very much looked upon and frowned upon that they were looking at too much of a simplistic view. They were just looking at putting stripes over your frame. They weren't thinking about the fabric, the drape and things like that. So it's a bit of a myth in styling, so don't worry about it as long as you've got everything else sorted. So we're bringing in the green here with the scarf, a very simple nod to bringing the rest of the outfit together. You've got the green in the trousers, you've got the green in the trainers again. And there's the jacket by itself, lovely. Marks and Spencer's, I believe, but like always, we will link everything. Okay, so have a look at Kat now in the polo neck jumper. So this is exactly what you shouldn't be wearing. So this is where she needs the cross above her head, in case anybody, I'm always worried that somebody just like goes onto my styling channel and then sees that and then they think terrible stylist. So it's all too high here, which is making the bust area look a lot bigger, and it's making it look bigger across everywhere, so even across that stomach area. Now we could, being fair, we could do a bit of styling, and things like this do help. So exactly, there we go. And we could put a necklace down there. It's all going to help, especially if it's a cold day, you've got a long coat on, we could possibly get something working. But what would be better is if you bought that jumper in perhaps a cowl neck like that. I'm sorry, I'm really stretching you there. But if I was just to show them, so can you see how you can have everything else working there, but the slightly lower neckline there is going to help the bust. So let's change this jumper up, and instead we're going to go for this jumper, just so you can see a direct comparison. And there you go, that's just changing the jumper up. Personally, I think that looks a lot better. You said you feel better in that one as well. And without just keep saying the same thing over again, it's the V-neck, it's the collar. And we have got a bit more of a drop shoulder on that one. But because you've got the V-neck and the collar going on, we can kind of let that bit go, if you know what I mean. Okay, so we're both twinning now with the denim skirt, but wearing them in two very different ways. Well, not too different. We've both got jumpers on and boots on. I've just kept the white company jumper on here for that relaxed look, and I've added a little white shoe just to keep it looking all modern, where Catherine has gone for a flatter shoe because she needs more practicality when she's at school with the children. But interestingly, we have gone for a higher neck top. Now we've done this on purpose just to show you that they're going to look bigger than if you had got a V-neck. But actually finding V-necks in stores is really quite difficult, isn't it? So what I wanted to show you with this one is that the knit is really thin, so it drapes quite nicely. So it's not like that spongy, heavy wool knit.
It's not thick at all.
That add bulk. So it's quite thin. We've got a little bit of a shoulder pad that's in here as well. So that's just giving a little bit of structure up here. The tightness here on the arms, the tight rib there, helps to shape and make this arm look really, really narrow. Now, can you see here, there's a little bit of a very small bat wing. But I wanted to show you this because what wouldn't work is if that bat wing started from sort of here. So there you go, so it's like that. Okay, it doesn't work when it's like that because look at where the volume will all come, right across the line of the bust. Where this one, it's only a slight back wing anyway, like I say, but it starts much higher up. So the arms are still relatively slim, so they're not adding extra bulk. That denim skirt looks fab on you as well. The little split up the side helps us both by just showing that little bit of flesh. Boots, I haven't even asked you, are they comfy?
Lovely, very light, not heavy at all, really easy, and I like a slouch boot.
Yeah, and stretchy around the calves?
Yes.
Yeah, do you, I don't know about your calves, do you have particularly larger calves or not really?
I don't have particularly larger calves.
No, that's good. So you don't need to buy in a wide or anything like that?
I do need to buy a wide fitting on the actual broad fitting on the shoe itself.
On the shoe, but not on the calves. No. Right, okay. We'll make sure that all of Kat's sizing is in the comments section of each of the items on the Moonsif board. But Kat has now got to leave us because she's got to go and collect her children. So thank you very much for coming in again. We really appreciate it. And what I'm going to do is show you a few more photographs of things that we have photographed along the way today, but just didn't have time to actually film them for you. So thank you very much for watching today. I hope you found that useful. And one favour to ask from us is if you could press that subscribe button or hit the thumbs up button, we would be very grateful. If Kat's body shape doesn't relate to your body shape, then we have 20 body shape masterclasses before this one. I think this was number 21. So just click on my logo and then the video button, and then that will list all my videos in date order for you. Thank you very much, and we will see you again next week.